Welcome back to Franchise Wars reaction, recap, and review of Young Justice. This week, Away Mission. Now this episode kind of starts off a little bit funky. You may remember the Forever people from like Season 1, the guys who, confronted Superboy about Sphere being Sphere. Well, they're back now. Well, one member's back. Bear, the huge, big, fun guy, he's back because he needs Superboy's help. You see, someone is poisoning relationships on New Genesis, homeworld of the new gods the Forever people come from. You see, someone's impersonating Orion, who's Darkseid's son, actually, but that's not him in this episode. And they're trying to, impersonate him and make the local bug populace turn against them. Now, because one of the bug populace, named Forager, is trying to heal the broken bonds, Bear's here trying to get some help from Earthers, because unfortunately, Orion is using some metahumans as well. So once again, we have child trafficking here. Now, this sets up the two plots of the episode. On the one hand, we've got the guys back at Connor's house, still kind of trying to teach the new kids what to do, especially going through Geo Forces and Halo's powers. On the other hand, we have a team consisting of Blue Beetle, Impulse, Tracy 13, I believe, Static Shock, Wonder Girl, and they're all led by Miss Martian to go try and help take care of the New Genesis problem. We're going to start off with the training stuff for Geo Force, because it's funny, and they are really hitting this whole parallel between him and Superboy and Halo and Miss Martian really hard, and having fun.
Okay, that rock's your target. Remember, it's a precision test. Hit it. Don't obliterate it.
I know, and please, be careful of my trees. Easy now. This is about control. I know.
Visualize where you want it. I know.
Ooh. This guy and Havoc would get along great.
Do not be upset. You are nicely shaped. Your form isn't the part of you that's broken.
Excuse me?
I'll test my powers now.
Here, kid.
Yeah, this episode's definitely trying to set up a possible Halo and Geo Force romance, which I'm believing is being set up far more so that we can try and have some kind of crucial reveal later on that'll cause them some severe harm in their relationship. Because remember, Halo, before she got metahumaned and killed, was actually helping the bad guy enter and kill, Geo Force's parents in the palace. So I'm predicting that's going to be the fallout here, and we're just setting up this whole little, oh, she's a little innocent ingenue here, and, Geo Force is the bad boy who needs her help and all that, mostly so that Greg Weisman can go, ha 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 ha, oh, I'm going to have so much more compelling conflict. We then have Halo try out her powers. She tries out her flight power, which is some kind of a purplish color. She tries out her shield color, which is red. Then she goes yellow. Super Saiyan! And I'm not quite kidding there.
Whoa. Okay. That's new. I don't understand. I cannot seem to make a shield or fly. What is wrong with me now? Am I broken too?
Excuse me?
You just found a new color. What does it do?
Well, let's try to find out. Carefully.
Now, back on New Genesis, Forager, the good bug, has managed to set up a kind of alliance between his people, the Hive, and the young team that's going there as well. And while they wait and see if they can kind of trap this fake Orion here and figure out what his deal is, Miss Martian senses something familiar. And just for the record, when she confronts this guy and they do the whole shape-shifting thing here, the reason my facial reactions start working the way they are is because I'm reading the subtitles, so I'm seeing the name of Martian Manhunter's greatest enemy pop up on the screen, and I'm having a slight reaction.
I can't talk to you when you're wearing this false form.
Magan.
Now, little brother.
Oh! other white Martians.
Explain yourself, Makam Ors.
Don't call me that green name. I am Ma'alefa'ak.
Stop it. A Ma'alefa'ak is a rabbit beast.
It's a symbol.
Makam.
The Greens are a superstitious and cowardly lot.
Okay, I could try repeating the way he gives himself his own, like, bad guy name here, but I'd suck at that. So I'm just going to call him Malefic, because that's what I call him when I read in the comics. Now, two things here. Number one, Malefic's, regular name from sister gives him, Makam, I'm fairly certain is supposed to be a reference to Malcolm, as in Malcolm X, which, yeah, I get where they're coming from there because of the whole racism thing he's dealing with on Mars, where white Martians are oppressed by green Martians and the red Martians. But yes, for the record, I know that Malcolm X was not, in fact, an actual terrorist. I want to make that clear. Number two, the reason why Malefic is kind of a big deal in the comics is that there was a period in the comics where, for a while, there were no more Martians left. It was only Martian Manhunter. That was because of Malefic. Okay? That's why I'm worried here. Now, they do a good job here of kind of having him do the, Golden Jaguar Killmonger explanation for why he is the way he is. And it does work pretty well. It's, some good narrative shorthand to explain what compels this character. And it does lead to some interesting psychic duels between him and his sister, which is fun. We cut back to the house where the heroes are trying to train Geo Force and Halo, and while Halo is recovering from her little, head meets car incident, Geo Force, tries to throw a hissy fit and leave, and we get a reason for why chances are Terra will be appearing in this season.
I'm sorry, but I cannot stay. You take care of yourself.
Don't go.
They're leaning hard to this being the new, Superboy and Miss Martian pairing, aren't they?
Wait, we want to help you. Give you whatever it is you need.
I don't know what I need.
Direction. Purpose. A clear goal. We'll help you find your sister.
For Tara, I will stay.
There we go. Back on New Genesis, Magan engages her brother in a psychic battle, which calls back some of the other psychic battles we've seen with her in the series, while our young heroes do some pretty nice kind of, low-yield action scene fighting. For instance, Tracy 13 has this kind of chaotic magic thing that works pretty well. Wonder Girl is the heavy hitter of their team. Blue Beetle and Impulse have a nice little funny banter back and forth, and Static Shock gets to be Static Shock. But yes, the main point here is Makam versus Magan, and that is fun, especially because we get some callbacks to the stuff she's done when she's found herself outmatched. Back in Season 1, before it turned out she was just like this ginormously powerful telepath.
Remember what we meant to each other.
I remember more than you. How the Greens treated us, and how you defended us. But a war isn't won on defense. It's won by giving rein to our righteous anger.
No. I've chosen love over anger.
Ah, scrapbooking.
Can you teach me?
Oh boy. I smell sneak attack.
It seems I cannot.
There we go. So as you'd probably expect by this time, and as backed up by the flashback, Makam is not in Magan's, tier of power level. He's just not. She basically just kind of, pimp slapped him down. Unfortunately, this is Season 3 of Young Justice, so guess what we get to do? We get to kill more kids.
It is over.
Is it? Your love makes you weak, sister, and easy to hurt. Fail-safe Omega. Die!
No!
Oh, man.
This is your fault, little bug. I see in your mind you brought them here. If I see you again, I'll crush you
They have no problem doing, like, race trader stuff
Please
here.
understand, that was never Orion. It was
And that actually is, like, a subtle theme of the episode. And actually one that I think they're trying to reflect in the artwork they've done to change Magan up for Season 3. You know, because on the one hand, you've got Malevich talking to his sister and telling her that she's, kind of betrayed her race because she's not fighting back against the Reds and the Greens. You get the Bugs rejecting Forager. And when I'm talking about, like, Megan's, like, shape-shifting, kind of reflecting this, consider her new form does embrace the more Martian alien side, like Martian Manhunters does, but she has flipped her colors. She now is a humanoid white Martian. I think they are trying to communicate that, so you can keep that aspect in mind as the series goes on here. Now, after this, Forager basically is rejected by his people, as you saw there, so he has to find a new home. Earth. Luckily for him, Bear's there to give him some comfort and to kind of like let him know why he should go. There's a lot of dead kids in these episodes. So, this so far has been like a pretty good week for the heroes in terms of gaining new allies and training new allies, but not one for keeping those trafficked metahuman kids from being killed. Seriously, this just keeps on happening. More and more kids are dying in this show. They're really emphasizing the evil of the bad guys just by pointing out, hey, human trafficking is part of our problem this season. It's really dark and mature, and it does kind of elevate the show a little bit higher up in terms of maturity. Now, I'm going back to that thing with Geo Force and Halo. I really, really think that we're doing this and having them set up to kind of have an emotional connection with each other, mostly so Greg Weisman can then break your hearts by having Halo get her memories back or having Brienne find out the truth about how she, before she became Halo, opened the door so the assassin could come in and kill his parents. I'm just feeling that. Especially because of the way they're leaning into some of those traditional tropes, the one we've already seen with, like, Superboy and Mixed Martian. She's like, I want to fix you. Like, that totally has to be them intentionally using this kind of, like, literary shorthand so we can quickly get to that part and things can get sad. I'm just calling it, okay? So if you like this episode, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you later.